Hi everyone. My name is Laith Sami, and I am here with Thomas Eskenazi. He is a photographer, he is a salsa dancer, and he is a life coach. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Laith. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
Yeah, I mean, we've known each other for a very long time.
Yeah, I think we met maybe 2006, 2007, something like that.
Wow,
so
that is a long time. It just goes like that. It feels like I met you yesterday.
And at the same time, it feels like I know you forever. So
yeah, exactly. So I mean, I've always admired your work. As a photographer, I mean, your photography is incredible, and anyone who's never seen it will be seeing it in the beginning of your photography. Now, my question is, like, how did you start photographing?
Well, first of all, thank you very much. I really appreciate your words about my work. It's always a pleasure to hear that people like what I do. And about how I started, I think I always liked photography. When I was a kid, I remember I was taking pictures of my friends when we were on holidays. It was I was using photography more for memories, just to remember. At the time, there was no digital. It was, Instamatic cameras and stuff like that. And it was nice to look at these images maybe a year or 2 years later, and remember the good times we had with friends. And then later on, my brother, who's a musician, professional musician in Paris, led me to the opportunity to shoot musicians in live for concerts, as well as meeting them and doing portraits. So it's been a playground for a long time. And then I started to connect memories, so the memories from a concert, to emotion, where by taking a photograph of someone playing on stage, in addition to a good memory for them, it was also conveying emotions. Wow. And this is where I started to get hooked to photography. For me, photography was no memory anymore. It was really about snapshotting an emotional moment.
And how old were you when you did that?
I was old enough, I say, maybe about 20 something.
Okay.
Yeah, around 20 something. Even around when I was 18 years old, I already started to photograph concerts of friends and things. So It already started like this. But I just took I got conscious of that. You'll cut that, right?
Yeah.
I got conscious of that when much later. Like it's in retrospect, I can say this is my journey. But at the time, I was just photographing, shooting, and not thinking about anything. So it started with memories, and then progressively got into the emotional aspect of photography. And then I moved to London. At the time, I was still in Paris, and then I moved to London, and I wanted to try something new, something I never tried before. And this is where I started to train in stage photography. I mean, in studio, working with artificial lights and setting up my own stages. So in addition to the emotion, I could now create a whole set, a whole universe of my own. So just with one image, convey a whole story. So not only the emotion, but the story as well. I worked in London in fashion. I've been published in magazines as well, working in different studios. And eventually in 2016, I started to travel a long time, and I switched to travel photography. I couldn't have a studio in my hand at the time, so I just continued with what I love, but just like using landscape and using people that I was meeting while traveling to get those moments in photographs. I continued doing that, and I got closer to shooting portraits again by the end. So the glue between all my photographs have all been the emotional aspect of it and people in general. That's roughly my journey.
That's amazing. I mean, wow, that is incredible. Perfect. Okay, let's go back to the second question, By the way, thank you so much for that answer. I mean, capturing an emotion, capturing that moment in life as a musician, as you know, wow, that is like, I never thought about it like that, but it's so obvious, you know. And I would love to see more photography of that. We'll be showing some of the old photographies.
For sure. It would actually it will be a nice walk down memory lane with these photographs, because I really love photographing musicians and artists in the middle of their expression. So it's definitely I'll find these photographs.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh my God. Okay, so the second question is, when you do take like photos, like let's say let's just say you're taking photos in a studio, and you have control about everything. Do you like see it in your head what you want? How do you work? Because I would love to know that.
For sure. So for me, there's two types of photography. There is a photography indeed where you create everything, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
And there's a photography where you're a witness, a humble witness of what's happening on stage, or people dancing, or at a wedding, when you're taking like photographs, but more from afar. So this is two kinds of different work. But the one you're mentioning about creating a whole set is something fascinating indeed. It all starts with an idea I have in my head, and I can visualize it in my head, but the way I visualize it is usually not too close to the final result. So I have an idea of what I want, and then I start doing research. When I create an image, I usually have a makeup artist in my team, a stylist. The stylist could be sometimes the model, if the model wants to do it, and if it fits the project. And I usually have like at least one person also helping me with the lights. So, but once I have an idea, then I contact first usually the makeup artist to try and find the appropriate model that would work with that kind of makeup I need. Every project is different, so sometimes I don't need a makeup artist. Some individuals are very good and very gifted in making up themselves.
Okay.
But it depends on the team.
Okay.
So after that, I just look for inspirations online by using Pinterest. You know Pinterest, right? Pinterest is a website where you can do research based on tags and names that would just give you images.
Okay.
And you can create your own collection. So I create my own collection of inspirations, and I start working with that, conveying this idea to the makeup artist, to the stylist, to everyone in the team, that everyone, when we arrive on set, in the studio, we all know what kind of work we're going to do together. And so from there on, well, I'm going to direct the set, but at the same time, I would leave some flexibility to what the model would like to do and what the makeup artist would like to do. I always see this kind of work as a collaboration. This is why at the end of the day, the image could be very different from what I envisaged at the beginning.
Yeah.
But for me, the result is more important than the original idea, because the outcome is the product of all these inspirations, all this creativity that came from different people. So that's what I love, working with people. And if everyone is involved with what they want to do, the result is even more impressive. That's how.
What do you do when you guys are working together, and then let's say, I mean, one of them had an idea, but you don't really think it's not wrong idea, but it's just not what you thought, that like you don't think it's going to work. Like, do you still try and do it, or do you just go say, no, sorry, that's not what I want?
I think it's when this conversation, I can take an example where I was living in Spain, in the south of Spain, in Granada, when I wanted to do a photograph with a friend of mine that I just met there actually, and she was a how do you say, a flamenco dancer, and I wanted to do something with her, but that was different from what she used to do, and she was not used to the camera either. So I just proposed a photo shoot to her, and the way I wanted to try different things, she had an open mind, so we went with this, and then I could show her at the same time what I was getting, and it also gave her some ideas about like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, and in the end, it's a collaboration, so we do it. The only time where I said no is when I know it's not going to work because of the lighting. Because like if we're shooting, for instance, outside and the conditions are not good, or for any reasons, technical reasons, we couldn't do it, then I'm just saying like it's that's not worth it. It's just a waste of time for both of us.
Yeah.
Otherwise, let's try. I like collaborating, so we even if the result doesn't go anywhere, let's try. I remember working in a studio one day where the makeup artist wanted to push her boundaries and do something completely different. We did it. The end result was not very good, but it doesn't matter because we learned something in the process.
Oh.
So there's no wrong ideas. It's just about finding how we could do it, and if it's technically not possible, then we wouldn't do it.
Wow, that's amazing. I should have interviewed you so long time ago. I'm learning so much new things. It's unbelievable. Okay, so my next question, what inspires you as a photographer?
I think I already mentioned it's emotion. It's like when there is a clear demonstration of emotion in a specific moment, and that's what I love working with artists in general, because artists they already found their mode of expression. You're a dancer, you're a choreographer. When you do your thing, you're 100% involved in what you do. Yeah. And with that, a lot of emotion comes out. It's true for musicians, it's true for any kind of artist.
Okay.
So I really love working with artists, and it's a big source of inspiration. Wow. Another one is that I can mention, when I look around and I think, oh, this would be great to photograph, different people are attracted to different things. And some people are attracted to color, some people are attracted to contrast. I am attracted to shapes. So when I see shapes and contrast working together, it really like hits me, and I'm thinking, okay, let's get that picture. Even if it's not something that I would publish, it's just something that attracts my eye. So I get very much inspired by shapes in general. So I really like working with lines and diagonals when I actually shoot. I always keep that in mind when I shoot with someone or to witness something.
Wow. Okay. And do you look at like other people's photographies? Like anyone that inspires you, go, oh wow, this photographer is amazing. This is a kind of like, not like you will do something like that, but it's like, do you have photographers that you just would love to watch and like go, I get ideas from these people?
I don't really follow photographers or what they do, but in my line of work I met many photographers, and some of them are good friends, and I respect a lot their work. Some are just amazing, just the best photographers in the world to me, just also not only because of their faculty to create images, but also because of who they are. I think when you're a photographer, you're first of all, you're a human being, and it's all about connecting with someone. At least when you do portrait photography, for instance, you need that connection.
Okay.
It's not true if you do landscape or macro photography and plants and things, but it's definitely true when you photograph people.
Okay.
Okay. So.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And because the thing is, especially when you work with people, like photography, they have to be as from the your human side, it's like they have to feel comfortable when you're taking pictures of them, because it's their vulnerability. That's what you want. That's what you want to capture.
The vulnerability is a big term. I don't. Is very much associated with weakness, and it's not necessarily the same thing. So okay. you can be comfortable and show yourself vulnerable, but if you're comfortable, are you really vulnerable? So this is where I think when we talk about vulnerable, okay. there is a sense of something bad can happen. Okay. Whereas that's why I don't like using that term. Okay. But it's more about being comfortable to be yourself. It's rather in this like with no filter, no. You drop your mask. You just
No, I understand what you mean. That's great. Okay, let's see. So, so you're also a life coach, and you've coached me in the beginning, and that was absolutely amazing. And I felt very comfortable with you as a life coach because you're an artist too. And I felt so much better about myself. And would love to know more about how did you get into life coach, and what do you see the future of life coach for you?
Yes, thanks, Eric. I'm indeed a life coach for now a couple of years, and there I think this is similar to the journey. It's alongside the same journey that I started as a photographer. It's all about the connection with people, with and I wasn't sure. It just came to me when I was traveling. I started traveling a long time in 2016. And I traveled for about 4 years and a half, almost nonstop. During that time, I met so many people, different cultures, different traditions. It's been amazing. But somehow I knew that coming back to the UK, where I live, wouldn't be easy, and I wouldn't know where to start, what to do. I didn't see myself getting back to a 9 to 5 day job, 9 to 5 p.m. day job. You know what I mean? And I needed to find a way to continue what I used to do while traveling, continue meeting people, and having a real connection. I met a friend of mine when I was in Tokyo in Japan from the UK, but also a salsa dancer actually, funny enough. We knew that we would be in Tokyo at the same time, but we just happened to be like one day together at the same time. Nice. So we went for lunch, and she told me about live coaching for the first time. And it made a lot of sense to me as an opportunity to continue working with people. Live coaching became very trendy, and it became very easier to get into compared with, starting your studies again, doing psychology. I've always been interested in psychology and psychotherapy, but I never found the courage to start university again and do something like this. So life coaching to me became like an interesting idea. And then I started to train to become a life coach. And about a year later, I had my first clients where you were part of. So it's been an amazing journey so far. And I really enjoy helping people, listening to who they are, respecting who they are, and helping them to develop who they are. Sometimes uplifting, like lifting their limitations and being their true self.
Okay.
I think I like working with artists indeed, just because I understand them. Yeah. But I am also like an engineer, so I have a very pragmatic mind. So my approach to coaching is very pragmatic, while keeping a sense of mindfulness that I developed while traveling. When I was in India, I had the opportunity just to do a Buddhist retreat over there. I'm not an expert. I just learned about Buddhism when I was over there. But that's something that I kept with me, and that I felt like having a big impact on people as well, on me first. Okay. First, first-hand experience,
Yeah.
and that I keep with me when I do coaching. So there's mindfulness and the pragmatic aspect of who we are too.
Great. And you've set up a website for Life Coach. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, that's called Mindfreeks. It's spelled MINDFREEKS. So like a freak, but spelled like if it's free, like freedom.
Yeah.
So mindfreeks.com. And this is a platform, a portal that connects life coaches with people interested into personal development. So life coaches connect together to grow and together, share experiences, train together. And at the same time, people interested in personal development can access this website to attend live events hosted by these life coaches and practice with them. So it's really a community-oriented approach to life coaching. And at the moment, I think we have about 100 people on the platform.
101. 101.
Yes. It's true. It's true. Yeah, you joined recently as well.
I became a member last week.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's really nice to work all together and to have different inspirations coming from different horizons as well. Some people have been trained in different places, so it's nice to share our understanding of what coaching is about. And it's not only open to coaches. Indeed, anyone interested in personal development can come and attend and share and debate all around basically well-being and personal development.
Yeah, and it's free. Is that right?
It is free. It is free for everyone, and for coaches, there is a fee to attend special events that are only for coaches.
Okay.
However, at the moment, because it's in beta, the platform is in beta, it's free for everyone, including coaches.
Great. So that's great.
It's really a nice time, even for coaches or people who want to try out just to join.
I mean, I because we had a meeting. It's every Fridays at 9:30 in the morning. I couldn't make it yesterday, but I've been doing it for the last 2 weeks, and the group.
The mastermind, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly. It's amazing. Everyone's like, it's a group of 10 people, and everyone's just so supportive, and everyone have their own desires and things that they want to kind of aim for, and every week they have to kind of have a goal, and it's like once you write it, the goal is like you have to do it.
Yes.
So I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. Thomas, thank you so much for your time. It's been great chatting to you, and I will speak to you soon.
Thank you very much, Leith. It was a pleasure to answer your questions. It's actually great because it allows me to remember my journey as well.
Yeah.
So it was a good opportunity just to have a chat, and definitely. And really, like if you need anything, just call me, or it's just we keep in touch anyway.
Of course, and we'll see each other in salsa.
Definitely on the dance formation. Actually, I'm just started to dance again. Like I'm little. I don't think I have danced since the beginning of the pandemic. Only once for a birthday party a couple of weeks ago. So I need to get back into it. So hopefully we'll see each other there.
Yeah, of course. All right, Thomas. Thank you so much, and have a good day. And I will speak to you soon.
Definitely. Take care, Leith. Thank you very much.